And welcome back to SA Sports Show. So far, so good. Phil's off again as...
Phil who?
Yeah, exactly.
Phil who?
Oh, I do agree with that.
Yeah. Is he gone? Where's he gone?
I think he's up in.
He's up in Brisbane.
Yeah, he's taken apparently all this glory that the Brisbane are doing okay. Feels like. Important though, Softball South Australia got James Harris. Welcome, CEO. It's from now the Olympics, you got a lot of work on.
Yeah. Off season at the moment for us in South Australia, but plenty of teams and tours happening across the world, and in particular our Open Women's team that are playing in the US Pro League at the moment. Team will be selected out of that.
And we've got four South Australians in that side playing that league in USA.
Yep.
Wow, you're doing things right for the South Australian softball, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, terrific programs coming through. Our flagship programs, the Dragons Development Program, and that is just solidifying all our programs all the way up to elite. And so we're very proud of it, and our four players that are in the States at the moment are just taking every opportunity that they can. And with the Olympic qualifier coming up in September, they've got so much to play for.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of overseas players that are actually poking their head into a little old Adelaide for a game of
Katie Sutherland-Finch has
been
on
we've
the
had
show.
Katie on,
and I think it's credit to our competition to allow our international players to come in. It happens vice versa as well. We send players overseas in our off season, and they'll come over here in our summer season to play. And it's just created such a strong competition in Adelaide, and our senior state team finished second at the Gilly Shield, our national championships in January for the first time in 37 years. So onwards and upwards, and we embrace the internationals.
People don't know how big softball is. People are unaware how big softball is. You start talking in those terms. The game is very big. The game is big overseas.
Yeah.
We get a lot of overseas players playing here now. It's a massive sport now. It's growing. Is it you?
Yeah. Well, just to put it into comparison, in the US alone, there's more people that play softball than Australian population.
Wow.
Then you add into Asian countries such as Japan and China, and they've all got pro leagues. Canada's got 1 million registered players as well. It's huge across the world. Europe, it's going ballistic in Europe at the moment as well.
One thing I'm a bit surprised, 75-year birthday celebrations for Softball SA.
This September.
It's amazing. It's a strong league.
Yeah, well, softball in South Australia is probably the second or third oldest state in Australia, and we're proud of our heritage and where we've come from. But looking to the future, we just want to make South Australia the best state in the country. It's tough because New South Wales have got the weight of numbers, but I don't think we're too far away at the moment.
You're going to have a special Hall of Fame night as well on the celebration of the 75th birthday.
So we've only had a lot of inductions into the Hall of Fame in 2009.
Are you one at the moment? Because I know you're a champion softball player. I mean, 5 times, state representative MPV award, which is outstanding. Could be this year or have been? No,
you've got to be retired for 4 years before you can get inducted as a player. So I don't know, maybe down the line if someone wants to nominate me. But no, we've got some great inductions this year. First time in 10 years that we've done it. It'll be our second ballot of Hall of Famers. And without giving anything away, there's some absolute huge names that are going to be inducted this year.
But you're still playing.
Yeah, still playing. I've got the games record for any of the men South Australian players in SA, and it's a labour of love. We're not that successful in the men's, but we've got some terrific young players that are coming through. Cooper Goodman's 18 years of age and should probably be our next Australian player. Jared Farrell, affectionately known as Chops because of his facial hair, has been to a men's world championship silver medal just 2 years ago.
Yeah. This year our men's didn't do so well, though, did they? I think they come seventh, didn't they? So that means the other countries are getting stronger, and as you were saying, that the numbers that are playing this game around the world is going crazy.
Absolutely.
Out of control.
Argentina won the men's world championships just last month, and it made news across the whole country. They had ticker tape parades, and it was absolutely huge. They won 2 junior men's world championships about a decade ago, so it's about right that they won.
How big is men's softball becoming? I mean,
New Zealand, just across the ditch, have got 3 times as many registered male players than what Australia do, and it's almost considered their second sport after rugby for men.
Wow.
And they've won 5 of the last 7 world championships. That they're just giants in the sport, and that's just an example. They also have pro leagues in Japan and in the US they have an annual men's tournament, the ISC's tournament, just throughout their season, where the best players from the world come and play. And I would say 80 countries would be represented at any one time. It's huge.
Greg mentioned that we finished a disappointing 7th. The reason that would be disappointing was because they were runners-up only a couple of years before. Is that just an improvement from outside Australia, or have we fallen back a little bit? Because we probably would have gone in a little bit expectation there.
Early 2000s was the turning point for Australian softball. Finished a low 12th in South Africa, and then from that point there, the emphasis on a team camaraderie, which is just a culture that was built up in men's softball, just exploded. And then the talent of a young left-handed pitcher by the name of Andrew Kirkpatrick, who retired at this year's World Championships, just catapulted Australia into medal contention.
Right.
Along came a good partner in crime of his from Canberra. They're both from Canberra, the best 2 players in the world. Adam Folkard led us to a World Championship in 2009. Medalled again in 2013, and then it was a 2-year cycle after that. A 4th place finish was very disappointing in 2015. Back up to silver in 2017. And they would be disappointed with 7th. There's no question about that.
Was there a big change in personnel there from the 2 years, or did we go in with the same?
Our men's coach, Lang Harrow, has moved over to the women's program, so he's a professional coach now in softball. And he will be the one leading the charge for the women's in the Olympic qualifier in September. He's in the pro league at the moment.
And numbers have been really good in the men's aspect for the league here in South Australia.
Not so much. We've got some terrific leagues in the northern area men's, played out at Elizabeth on Friday nights, and our heels competition out at Mount Barker on Saturday nights. They're our main 2 competitions in the state, and that's where most of our players come from. So it's strange to know that the biggest pot of population, the players don't come from the Adelaide metro area. So it's great when all the best players do come together and we have a good competition. It's as fierce as ever at our state championships, for example. But a lot of talent is moving into the older age with Masters Games. And just a plug for that, 17th Australian Masters Games starts in October.
Fantastic. And you're doing live coverage now as well of, I think, the Game of the Week on Channel 44,
which is,
and you're one of the hosts.
44.
So you're enjoying that?
Do the play-by-play. I love that. It's I got a guest spot on a pay TV channel during an Australian Championship concept of an Australian product called SummerSlam Softball, Footy Loaded Softball. It's our version of T20 cricket. And really enjoying that, thoroughly enjoying it actually.
That's interesting.
Looking forward to the next season where we will go bigger and better.
You're a busy man, because you are the executive officer of the softball as well, so you would get to choose who does the calling on Channel 44. And me.
State sides, me. MPV awards, me.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Me. So he's very, very busy.
No, buddy, kidding, mate. But you are. You're the executive officer for SA Softball. You still play, and you call it. So that's a busy time.
When I applied for the position, I thought it was an absolute privilege to get an interview.
A dream for you.
Now it's, I am living a dream, actually. Working for the sport that I absolutely love, and I try to take as many opportunities as I can. But at the same time, I know that if there's someone better in a better position, I'll make sure that I always make the best decision for the sport.
Well done.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks so much for coming in and giving us a bit of insight of softball here in South Australia and also Australia. Very, very exciting. Olympics coming up. Fantastic.
Yes.
We're back after the break.